Hello and welcome back to Gardening with Ben. Welcome to our new episode for today. I hope you're enjoying all the podcasts that we're putting out there. If you've not subscribed to our channel, make sure you click the subscribe button to stay up to date with all our podcasts, what get launched. And feel free to follow us on all our social media platforms, Facebook, YouTube and Instagram, Gardening with Ben. If you are listening on Apple Podcasts, make sure you leave a review as well, as it's always good to see who's listening and what you think of the podcast. Let's start today's episode. So, welcome to today's episode. Today's episode is being put out on the 14th of February, which means it is Valentine's Day. So for those that are sending Valentine's Day cards and together, I hope you have a fantastic day. And today we are going to be talking about the love of gardening and what we can get out of gardening. So I'm sure those that do have an allotment or a garden get absolute great pleasure from doing their garden. And the best thing about growing things is that you see the end result, whether it's a great success or whether you fail at it, you'll still get the love and the passion from growing your own. You can obviously go out and buy your own plants from the supermarket or the garden centres and just plant them, and you can still get the love and seeing them bloom and come out. But the love of gardening has to be, for me, is when you start something from scratch, from that seed, sowing that first seed in your seed tray, seeing the seed germinate, and then planting it out in the garden, nurturing and tendering, looking after it, and finally harvesting your rewards from the plant, as there's nothing better and tastier than growing your own vegetables and fruit. You will see such a difference in the taste, the quality and the niceness of it. Growing your own stuff tastes completely different to the shop bought variety, as it will obviously taste fresher and juicier a lot of times. It's not been picked before it needs to be picked like a lot of fruit is. It's picked when it's actually ready. Supermarkets pick stuff way before it's ready so that they can store it and then ripen it and put it out on the shelves in the supermarkets. But when you're growing it yourself, you'll obviously pick it when it's actually at its best, and that's what makes the difference, and the taste quality taste a lot better in gardening, growing your own stuff. So growing your own vegetables and flowers and fruit, having your own garden brings lots of other benefits as well. It's also good for your mental well-being, as they do say being out in the fresh air in your garden, spending an hour to 2 hours each day or every couple of days out in the garden, losing your track of mind. You just go blank when you're in the allotment in the garden. You're with nature, and that's when you can help yourself. Gardening has helped me so much during the past year now, during the coronavirus, as obviously lockdowns, you're not allowed to go anywhere, but thankfully you are allowed to go to your allotments as it's classed as exercise. So I'm able to spend some time in my allotment and being out in the fresh air with nature and enjoying the love of gardening. What I also love about gardening is that I am obviously a blogger. I blog my garden journey and I share it with all my followers, and it's great to see all the people interacting on my Facebook page as I'm sharing tips and advice. Like I said, it just started off as me keeping a diary of what I planted, where I planted it, when I planted it, how I planted it, and how it turned out. Never did I expect it to become a massive following with about 19,000 followers. And I get a lot of love from that people use them tips and advice and grow themselves, and also encourages other people to start trying to grow their own stuff at home. And I've got a lot of pleasure from that this year, as a lot of people out there are on their own and they're not getting to talk to people, but I've been going live on my Facebook, talking to people, interacting with them, and a lot of people have fed back nice comments saying that it's made their day and helped them so much. So I get a lot of love from that. So basically, that has been our little topic for today about the love of gardening. Thank you for listening to today's podcast. I hope that you have enjoyed it. Make sure you do click that subscribe button to stay up to date with all our podcasts, which get launched on a daily basis at the moment. And feel free to follow us on our social medias, Facebook, Instagram and YouTube, Gardening with Ben. Obviously on YouTube you get to see all the videos as well, which we launch regularly. And if you'd like to support Gardening with Ben, check out the link below in the description from our shop, where you can purchase fantastic gardening hoodies and t-shirts. You can also buy a Gardening with Ben mug to be drinking your own brew out of while listening to this podcast. And we've launched recently a fantastic range of greeting cards, which can be used for any occasion and also for letters to send to family and friends. So thanks for listening, and as always, remember, keep gardening.